What's up, friends and family? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, coming again to bring you another edition of these high intensity trainings. I couldn't make it out last night. We had some bad weather and the lights were kind of the internet connection was stable on motivation, was unstable on motivational Monday. But I did want to come in tonight, drop in for a minute as I'm over here at basketball practice. We have a group of young men, about 35, 40 young men between the ages of 12 and 9, probably a little younger, 12 to 8 in the gym. They're waiting on the motivational teacher to come in and bring them some of these basketball tips and clues. But you know, your boy's a leader. So we got 4 or 5 other college coaches, people that played college basketball or coached at a high level that's in there giving basketball instruction. That's how your boy roll. But thank you for hopping in here tonight. If you would, please let me know you're in the room. Shout out to your boy. I want to say good afternoon to you. I can see comments. Let me know. And please share this with your top 5 relationships. If they can't grow with you, they can't go with you. And I know there's a remnant of people that you want to see walking in their fullest potential and walking in their purpose. Today, for a brief moment, I want to talk about purpose. I mean, when I look around in our world, hey, Barbara, thanks for joining us today. Thank you for sharing to your top 5 relationships also, Barbara. It means a lot that you decided to stop by and spend a little time with us tonight. When I look at the condition that our world is in right now, like there is an opportunity for people to inspire and bring hope. When I look at how there's wars and rumors of wars, when I look at the amount of hatred, and the amount of killings, and just the other night in Atlanta, a person at one of the local hotels went by and just broke out 6 different car windows, 6 different cars, and broke out their car windows, not because they wanted to steal anything, but just because they wanted to commit a crime. When I think about the state that our world is in, I tend to believe that there's a whole lot of misuse of purpose. I believe that if a person doesn't know the purpose for their life, they tend to abuse it. And a lot of the hatred, a lot of the fighting, the bickering that we see in our life today, or that we see in the lives of others, all stem from a lack of purpose. If I don't realize that I've been put on earth, that if I don't realize that my sperm cell was chosen out of 400 million other sperm cells to meet my mother's egg from my dad, if I don't understand that, there's the possibility that I believe that my life is just passing by, that there's no ultimate fulfillment, there's no ultimate purpose, there's no ultimate call to my life. And I believe when people don't see themselves as attached to the whole, they tend to spend time abusing their gifting. They spend time abusing their calling. They spend time abusing their greatness. Hey, Angelique, thanks for joining us today. And I believe that the lack of commitment, the lack of follow through, the lack of generosity on this earth today is because there is a group of people that lack to know their purpose. And without knowing their purpose, it's inevitable that you will abuse your life. I just broke bread. Hey, Michelle, thanks for joining us. If I'm unable to apply my purpose, my vision for my life, I will perish. Most of us will die, and the only thing they will remember about our life is the tombstone that is left on top of my body, that's going back to the dirt. Most people will only live their life to only be reflected by a tombstone because they never tapped in to the purpose and their destiny for their life. And tonight I'm coming to speak directly to your soul. I want to come speak directly to your spirit. I want to speak to the person directly responsible for the choices that we make in our lives. See, most of us believe that we make choices based on our current situation. We make choices based on the condition of our heart. No, that's a bread breaking moment. We make conditions, we make choices based on the conditions of our mind. And tonight I'm coming directly for that portion of you. I want to speak past your flesh. And a lot of people are enamored because they get a rise and I got goosebumps and they're shouting, they're running. I want to get beyond that natural surface because there's a champion deep down on the inside of you who you've yet to discover. Man, I'm telling you, some of us do not know the real us. Some of us, I love what Dion said, some of us are game changers. Some of us have been him for a period of time. Some of us are meant to change this world, but we never been introduced to that person of who we are. I love it, Michelle. Our thoughts are not God's thoughts, and our ways are not God's ways. But there's a mechanism where God has allowed man, whatever we loose in heaven and loosed on earth, God has given us access to his ways and to his thoughts, but it requires that I have to live my life on purpose. You know, I am always disappointed sometimes in our school systems where we have future leaders and future doctors, lawyers, athletes, plumbers, concrete. We have, man, the school system has everybody walking through its doors, and we teach them reading, we teach them writing, we teach them arithmetic, we teach them science, we teach them health, but we never teach them purpose. We never talk to them about finding something that you're passionate about. And there's so many of us adults right now, we're punching in on a time clock and we're not passionate about it. Yesterday was Labor Day, and some of us were so excited about having a 4-day work week that we just shouted all weekend because we had a 4-day work week. But when you're living on purpose and you have a call and you have a vision and your 8 to 5 is tied into what you're ultimately supposed to be doing, you see it as an opportunity for me to lose growth by not being there that day. See, most of us are living in a place where we despise how we live and where we live and who we're living with. We despise it because Michelle said it earlier, there's a place where God thoughts, his ways are calling us, like he purposed us for the way we are, for why we are, and the way is frustrating the why because we never moved into the place where I began to discover who I truly am. I've been living under the facade of what my teacher said about me. I've been living under the facade of what my mother, my grandmother, my uncle said about me, and I have never discovered the true purpose of why God allowed me to be birthed in this season, in this time. His thoughts are higher than his thoughts, and his ways are higher than my ways. So why is it then that everything on earth choose to operate by God's design except a Homo sapien, male, female alike? A tree can only be a tree. A dog can only be a dog. A cat can only be a cat. A lion can only be a lion. A piece of wood can only be a piece of wood. But God's greatest creation has the ability to choose, to pick, to choose. God gave a man free will. God gave a man an option to choose what they choose to be. And we've neglected to write the vision and make it plain. It's so easy. It's so easy for our environment to shape us. And without us returning, I love it, deep calls unto deep, until some of us are living our lives frustrated because we know that greater is calling me. The deep is calling unto the deep. The deep thoughts and his ways are speaking to my thoughts and my ways. And I'm often frustrated because I don't see what he sees about me. And it leaves me in a place of frustration. And it leaves me in a place where I question my call. I question my beliefs. I question my purpose. I question the vision of what God has given me because what I see don't line up to what I hear. Oh my God, it's the test. I'm breaking bread tonight. I don't need no notes with this one. This is a life lesson I'm talking about today. Tonight, I'm talking about a life lesson that part of my soul knows. No, let me rephrase that. Part of my spirit knows that there's more to me than what I see today. But my soul, my mind, my will, my thinkers, and my emotions will not allow me, to be in harmony onto what I know I see on the inside of me. The deep calls unto deep. His ways are, Michelle, you did this. His ways are higher than my ways. His thoughts are higher than my thoughts. But God has given us a conduit directly to him. But nevertheless, we allow social media to shape our beliefs and our norms. We allow our environment to shape our beliefs and our norms. We allow our peer circle to shape our beliefs and our norms, and we never chase the deep. I tell my sons every day, there are commercials, there are the God of these airwaves is always trying to control your mind. The moment you don't think for yourself is the moment you give away your ultimate power. There are so many people out there wants to control the narrative of your life. The moment you don't incorporate thought into your own life, into your own vision, into your own purpose, is the moment you give your authority away. What happened in the what happened to Adam in the garden, motivational teacher? The true authority that Adam had, he transferred to the serpent that said, if you eat from the tree, you will be like God. Newsflash, he was already like God. He was already like God. Newsflash. Newsflash. Don't trade the authority that's been given to you chasing a myth. And I'm gonna be honest, man, like a lot of these jobs are myths because we're only working to pay bills. If you're working to pay bills, you're not living on the vibration or the frequency on which you were created to live. If you're only working and you look at your check at the end of the week and you only looking at what bills are outstanding, what bills remain, you're not living your life on purpose. You're living your life on this earth to only fare well. And there's a higher level, there's a higher frequency for your life on this earth. I'm breaking bread. I'm gonna go ahead and break bread with y'all on this video, and I'm going in to break bread on that basketball court. I realize, and see, I think the moment, oh my God, I'm about to break bread. Oh my God, I'm about to break bread. I think the moment we realize that this life isn't about things, that this life isn't about the substances we lay up on this earth, when we realize that my life is much greater than what I can accumulate on earth. The only thing that will live past Anthony David Williams, the only thing that will live beyond me is how much I impact people. That's a bread breaking moment. The only thing that lives beyond me when I depart this earth is the people that I impact. See, I'm not working right now to store up treasures on this earth. Although I will say that treasures will follow you when you have the right motive and right mindset. They tend to follow you because the more people you add value to, the more people want to sow into, the more people want to pay you for doing a service that you're doing for free today. But because most of us don't spend time to get in our happy place, and I say that's the place where I fit. That's the place where God purposed me. Like for me, going into this gym to mentor, to work with these young men, give them life lessons through basketball, is not work for me. It's not work for me to go in this gym. Why? Because I realize that this is a part of my life's vision. I realize for this cause have I come into the earth. See, that gives it. I'm telling you, three people with the same job, three different outlooks. Imagine if, and let's say, I was talking to one of my friends in the gym today that lay brick, a brick mason. He's a brick mason. Let's say you got three people, they all lay brick. One person is just laying brick. Well, what you doing today? I'm laying brick. The second person is, I'm working this job trying to just get money. I'm working this job trying to get money. The third person is, I'm building somebody's vision. He's laying brick, but he's putting together this complex. He's looking at all the lives, the kids that have come and go grocery shopping. He's looking at the neighborhood who is impacting, and he sees his bricklaying connected to a larger vision, a larger cause. He sees it impacting people. Which one of those three you think is going to do the best job laying brick? It's the one that sees it attached to its ultimate outcome and to the ultimate purpose of how he impact people. I hear some people say, motivational teacher, I don't know what my calling, I don't know what my gifting is. You know why most people never reach their calling, their gifting? Because they're looking as to what it does for them and not what it does to the people they serve. So let me give you a clue about how to find your gifting. Who do you want to serve? What people do you want to help? If you can answer that question, I promise you, you can find your vision. I promise you, you can find, for this cause have I been sent to the earth. And see, until we gain a for this cause, that's a bread. For this cause, those three words are three of the most powerful words in this earth, because I realize that I'm trading my time in this gym. I realize that I'm trading my time right here on this phone. I realize that my time I cannot get back. And when I give my time, I realize that it is an investment it is an investment of time that I can never see that time again. Realize now, people think our greatest investment is money. Our greatest investment is not money. Our greatest investment is time. I love when people say, well, you bring your tithes into the house, so you bring your 10% to the house, so it'll be meat in my house. The money is not the greatest tithe. Oh my God, I done broke bread. Your money is not, your 10% is not your greatest tithe. Your greatest tithe has been invested into the purpose of which God called you to do. I love the fact that people will make life decisions based on the 10% their tithe, but will refuse to make life decisions based on the 90% of their life. What if I'm only, oh my God, I'm gonna say this. I'm only living my life in productivity 10% of the time. And 90% of my time, I'm very unproductive with it. Your time is your greatest investment. It's your greatest investment. Most people are losing or are not manifesting everything they have because they are disproportionately using their time. My greatest investment is my time. And right now, when I walk in this gym and when I'm looking at this camera, I realize that I'm storing treasures up in heaven and not on this earth, because I'm giving what God gave to me. Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment. I realize that I'm in my highest frequency when I'm giving what God gave to me. Oh my God. For this cause have I come into the earth. The best way for you to invest your time is to live in this space. For this cause have I come into the earth. Whether you're preparing, whether you're growing, whether you're developing in the area, the greatest use of your time is for this cause. Oh my God, until you get that in your life will never seem fulfilled. I have a bunch of empathy for people who are struggling with addictions, whether it be alcohol, whether it be drugs, whether it be pornography, whatever that thing they're struggling with. I have a huge empathy for those people, because a lot of people end up in those places because they realize that there's greater on the inside of me, and a lot they can't get to it, so they have to find other ways to quiet that voice. And they turn to drugs, or they turn to alcohol, or they turn to relationships that are not beneficial to try to silence that voice. And so I have empathy because they know that greater resides, and they're trying to quiet the noise. But for some of us, we know greater resides, and we live in our seat of average and mediocrity and in being comfortable when we know greater is calling, and we do nothing about it. At least the person that is that is abusing alcohol, or that is abusing drugs, or I found some other outlet, at least they're trying to escape it. But most of us, sit there. His ways are not our ways, and his thoughts are not our thoughts. And the deep calls unto deep, and we are moving, and we do nothing about the deep calling. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread. Come on, Mike. Come on, Angelique. I'm breaking bread right now. And we sit there in the seat of mediocrity, and we sit there in the seat of being comfortable and don't move when deep is calling us. When the greater is calling you. That's why I got to move. That's why I got to walk in this gym, and I got to go in here, and I got, like you said earlier, I got to use my platform to promote his purpose and his goal and his will for these children's lives. It must that I pass through Capernaum. He said, I must go. Why must I go through there? Because I realize that my life, the highest frequency I can live in, is giving what God has already truly given to me. The seed is always within itself. Oh, I'm breaking bread this Tuesday night. I'm telling you right now, if you can hear these words and understand these words I'm saying, your life will never be the same again. If I can just grasp and start living on that frequency of which I've been created, the highest use of your time. Oh my God. Whether it's preparing, whether it's developing, whether it's implementing in the space of which God is giving you. That's for this cause have I come into the earth. Make no mistakes about it. I know why I'm here. And to have a big bank account, although my wife and I are doing tremendously well, and we don't worry about our bills and our needs being met. We don't worry about. God has been phenomenally great to us, but it's because we've learned how to live on his frequency. And I'm always amazed by my wife, because my wife works in the school system, and she's one of those people that leave home early and that comes to work and leaves home early and come late from work. And I admire that, because she sees her teaching, or she sees her being in the school as tied to something much greater than she is. She sees advocating for kids with disabilities as something much greater than the role. We're not worried about how much teachers make per year. We're not worried about I give more than what they pay me for. We don't worry about I'm not being recognized for coming early and staying late, because we realize that we're not doing it for treasures to be. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread. We're not doing it for treasures to be stored up on earth. And see, most of us are looking for that, oh, that a boy, great job, or come here, let me just give you a little bit of raise. I realize your natural. So we're looking at, well, you've done a good, faithful job, my servant. Well done. And we're looking for people to validate that externally. And I'm telling you, if you're looking for your natural reward to be on earth, it will be on earth. But I'm telling you, we see it as we're storing up treasures in heaven. Man, newsflash, the school system can't ever pay my wife what she worth. Newsflash, my wife and I, we have five basketball teams on the south side right now, and we don't make one nickel for it. Newsflash, for what I do for my natural job, they can't pay me for it. And nor do I expect them to, because I'm laying up treasures in heaven. And I know that if I sow enough seeds and I invest my time so much in kingdom places, these other things will be added unto me. We're chasing materialistic items. We're chasing Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel. We're chasing all of these natural, man-made other brands and other names. And he's telling you, man, don't chase them. Chase me. And as you chase me, you will find you. See, most of us look at this relationship between the great I am who strengthened the I am. We look at this automatically wrong. We think that, praise and worship and everything is to our God. The purpose of chasing God is to find you. You can never find you without finding him, because he created you from before your mother's womb. He knew you. And so you can't find you without finding him. And most of us just want to find him to say we got him and to escape hell and say I got to heaven. But without finding him, you cannot find you. It wasn't until, oh my God, I'm breaking bread right now. I grew up in a small town in Alabama. It was 8 of us in a 3-bedroom trailer. And some days the lights might be off. The oven heated the whole house. And we grew up in a state of poverty, and we grew up not having enough. What granddaddy grew is what we ate. If granddaddy didn't grow it, or the trade when he grew for some meat, we didn't have it. A lot of times. A lot of times we didn't have it. So I grew up in that environment, and poverty somehow grew up into me. But it wasn't until I was in a small storefront building and I heard a man talk about dominate and reign. And he talked about it from Genesis, that we've been fruitful and multiply. And he sat there, he broke bread, and I was introduced. I was almost 30, but I found a new introduction into my own self. I didn't know there was a person on the inside of me that didn't have to live paycheck to paycheck. I didn't know there was a person on the inside of me that has been called to a higher frequency. I didn't know that there was a person on the inside of me that was meant to shape the lives of multiple thousand young men through the platform that God has allotted me. I didn't know. I got introduced to a new version of me at 27. Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment. I got introduced to a new version of me at 27 because I heard somebody say you're supposed to dominate, and you were created to dominate and reign. I got introduced to a new version of myself. And my question to you is, at what point do you say, I'm more? I know everybody's talking about the Colorado Buffaloes right now. The whole world is surprised what Coach Prime did, and whether you like him or don't like him. A lot of people don't, a lot of people do, but I'm telling you, he sees himself in the call on his life on another frequency. Say he's big-headed, say he's arrogant, but I've heard him say nothing but give glory to God. God made me. I'm backed by God. I'm covered by God. I heard him only say all these things because God gave it to him. Whether you like him or don't, I'm not here to debate. But what I'm saying is he lives on a different frequency. He lives on a different. I bet he ain't talking about how broke he is. The dude just had 3 toes taken off. You ain't seen him miss one practice. They was talking about amputating his leg. He kept showing up. Why? Because he realized the call is much greater than the situation that he has today. And most of us, the deep calls into the deep. Most of us, and I'm getting ready to get off this thing, most of us don't have something that's pulling us. Purpose pulls us. It draws us nigh to thee. Purpose, it pulls us, it propels us to a call much greater than we are. But most of us are always being pushed by our bills. We're being pushed by the needs of others, and my boss wants this. We're being pushed by the needs of our kids. We're being pushed by what the world says. I gotta have a house in this neighborhood and drive this kind of car before I'm deemed as before I'm deemed as someone that somebody wants to listen to. And we're being pushed by all these materialistic things. And greatness says, I need you to be pulled to destiny. And see, so many of us have been pushing for so long that we're fatigued. And we don't know how to be pulled. And that's a different mindset that I got to conjure up everything. I wake up. I got to conjure it all up. Oh, I got to get up in the morning. I don't want to get up. Oh, I got to conjure up strength to get up. Oh, I got to conjure up strength to go in this job. Oh, I got to conjure up strength to be able to deal with this boss. Oh, I got to conjure up strength to be able to work with my spouse today. Oh, I got to conjure up strength to deal with my kids today. And some of us are so fatigued because we're using all the energy we have. We're too tired for God. Come on, Q. Big truth today. Thank you, Angelique. We're using all the energy we have to be just pushed. And when there's a level of living that you have been called to where you can be pulled, man, it is a blessing. I love it that my 13, well, he just turned 14. I call him 13. My 14-year-old now is coming downstairs to wake us up. His high school, they got practice at 6 a.m. in the morning. And I'm loving the fact that he's coming downstairs asking us, are we ready to go? That's somebody that's being pulled. That's not somebody that's being pushed. I got to wake you up every morning 3 or 4 times to come get you up. I love the fact that he said, y'all ready? My clothes at the door the night before. That he's being pulled by something much greater than he is. Man, I'm breaking bread right now. Hey, mom, I'm breaking bread right now. Until I can't wait to go in this gym. Why? Because I'm being pulled. I'm not pushing. Oh, it hurts so much to get in the gym. No, it don't. Because I'm being pulled. Stop investing time. Or stop, find a way out of always being pushed. If it's not something you're prepared to do or called to do, find another activity to where you feel that you're being pulled. Oh my God, I love it. I got a reason to get up in the morning. I got a reason to go to the gym. I got a reason to keep my blood pressure under 120/80. I got a reason to keep my A1C on right at 5%, 5.2, 5.3. I got a reason because I'm being pulled by life. I got a reason. And until most of us get a reason to be prepared in our destiny, we'll forever be sitting around here with average. Today, we're talking about purpose. So much more on the inside of you. So much more. I got some people chiming into this conversation. Q said, Jesus said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. His way is easy. The world way is hard. That's why it's narrow. That's why it's narrow. Angelique said, using all your energy to be pushed. Yeah, Angelique, using it all just to make myself to be able to fulfill the needs of today. Q said, it's easy to do purpose. It's hard to do what you weren't born to do. Man, hard to do what you weren't born to do. That's why some of us are dying. They said most heart attacks happen on Monday morning between the hours of 8 to 12 because people are hating going into the place where they work. I'm telling you, I love what Q just said. His yoke is easy and his burdens are light. You got to figure out how to be pulled. And you need to start tuning in to your boy. Check out Q, check out Angelique, the artist. All these people on here are creating positive content for us to be able to glean from. And if you don't have a circle of people like I have right here on this live, you better find one because these are people that realize and understand what it's like to be pulled and not to always have to push. Oh, it's just so childbirth is painful because you got to push so hard. Some of us are living life in that same mode. And God has said, no, man, the deep is calling to the deep. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. He's saying that my thoughts are hiding your thoughts, my ways are hiding your ways, and I've given you a conduit. Whatsoever you loose, it is loose. Whatsoever you bind is bound. I've given you a conduit to bring it down, but you gotta figure out how to find that place where you fit. And I don't know how long I'll be talking about purpose, but I feel this with everything in me tonight. So I probably will be on it at least one more week and give some practical steps to purpose. All right. You all have been, thank you, Angelique. So grateful to be with this community with you. Angelique, thank you for being in this community because you add so much value to us on this community. Again, come on, Q. I'm about to go ahead and get with these kids, man. We have practices at 5, 6, 7, and we have them kind of overlay each other. So I got the 7, the 6 is going out, which I started with them. The 7's coming in. So I got to go in here and again, man, I'm being poor. I got to go ahead and teach these young men how to become positive people in their community through giving life lessons through basketball. And so that's what I'm talking about. My life is not my own. My life is a seed offering. And I have my two that I've already worked with, trained. My 13-year-old went to my 13-year-old, my 14-year-old went to I'm gonna get used to calling 14 in a minute. Like I said, they had practice this morning at 6, and then he went to the gym again at 3:30. And now my 10-year-old went and did individual training at 3:30. Now he has practice with his team, and we have so many other kids that glean from our program. And man, you know what I might talk about next time is, and I'm not gonna get on this tangent right now because I got to get in the gym. But I want to talk about how people try to destroy our basketball program in its infancy, in its early days, just trying to say it was all about my kid. I was only looking to make AJ better and none of the other kids on the team. And then when I look now, we got 4 or 5 different teams right now, depending on how we split them up. And I only have one kid on one team. We got 4 other teams that exist outside of me having a child on it. And I'm telling you, man, God will sometimes make a mockery out of some of these folks that talked about you early on when they see your success and your outcome. I can promise you right now, We're gonna have Power 5 athletes coming right out of our basketball program. I can promise you, we're gonna have sergeants and lieutenants and doctors and lawyers, preachers, deacons. We're gonna have executives. We're gonna have artists. We're gonna have all kind of people coming, right? And I say from these loins right here, my wife and I, as we've created this mechanism to teach and grow these young kids. As I'm looking out now, I'm looking at one of my fifth graders walking his grandmother to the car with her cane. He's holding her up, walking her to the car. And I'm like, man, that's phenomenal. We're training and we're teaching young men to grow into what I just saw right there, man. So we're over here on the south side and we're doing work. And I challenge you to wherever you are in this world to do work also. Y'all see our little logo, All In Warriors. You know, that's what we are. Kind of came from David, man, when he went out to take his brother lunch. He was all in. He said, man, I got to go take my brother's lunch. And he walked into purpose out, and that warrior came directly from David. And he walked into purpose by doing an ordinary thing. And for a lot of these kids, be all in on whatever you feel in your heart, what God is giving you to do, be all in, and it'll lead you to your place if that's not it. And we're training these life lessons to these young men in the gym right now. And hopefully soon we'll be adding at least one girls team to our program. And we're going to continue to grow, expand, and teach life lessons through basketball. And I challenge you to find your place where you're being pulled and not pushed. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, saying thank y'all for chiming into this conversation tonight. You all have been phenomenal. And until next time, I'm challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out.